Hey there, welcome back. So now we're gonna talk about the next part in our targeted individual handbook review. Let's see. The next one is about electronics. TIs may receive unsolicited email that parallels a current event in your life. You may receive covert insults and threats. Okay, so this is a lie. Gangstalkers will not send you any covert emails or threats. This is being pushed so that you interpret random emails as threats. In reality, there's a bunch of spam, a bunch of emails, and because you have if you have the belief that gangstalkers are able to send you email things such as threats to the email and whatever, you are gonna start interpreting junk mail as something to do with gang stalking. But let me tell you, gang stalkers don't send you email threats. That's a lie. So just so you know, if whenever you have the narrative that gang stalkers have technology, that gang stalkers have all these things and they can do all these things, you will start making assumptions of something that is not real. So if you believe that gang stalkers will send you emails or whatever, you're gonna interpret emails that have nothing to do with gang stalking as emails that are coming from gang stalking, because you're gonna be so when you're getting gang stalked, your mind is gonna be looking for connections, and you are gonna start making connections that have never existed. If there's something that coincides with something that is in your life that is happening to you, and you're getting gang stalked, you are incredibly bound to believe that that the email came from a gang stalker or something along those lines. But just know that in reality, that is an illusion. Gang stalkers have nothing to do with a bunch of that marketing that you might get. All right. Now let's see what's next. So if you ever have if you believe that gang stalkers are emailing you, just know that they're not. It's spam email. You're just interpreting it in a particular way because you're getting gang stalked. Regardless of what anyone will say, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Now, let's see. Your email may be blocked or filtered, and your web activity may be monitored. If you try to participate in online discussion forums, online dating, it is very possible you will be interrupted, trashed, harassed. This is true. This can be done by a combination of paid civilian contractors, operators, provocateurs, and email filtering. Gang stalkers will harass you in any way possible. So they will, for example, they're gonna tell you something that means the total opposite, but the tone that they say it is gonna say it. So when they wanted to lower my self-esteem, I would get a lot of messages. Oh, you're very handsome. You're very handsome. You're very handsome. You're very handsome. But because of the gang stalking, I perceived it as being a sarcastic remark that I was ugly. And I'm telling you this because actually I hooked up with this Asian guy. I forgot, Eric. His name is Eric. He told me himself, do you believe those messages that you're getting that you're handsome? Well, you're not. He told me this, and like we were supposed to fuck that day. And he literally said this to me. It's like, dude, what the fuck? So I just like laid down because I wanted to lay down. And then I just like left. We just like smoked and then I just like left. But since I was not react, like I felt like I knew what they meant. But this is the reality of that. Amongst those many messages that are telling me that I was handsome, I've gotten those messages before. And even though there might be some that are meant to mean the opposite, I know that others are actually meant as a compliment. And I'm very photogenic, so I know I'm not ugly, and I know that I'm good looking. I wasn't when I was using a lot of drugs, let me tell you. I wasn't. But when gangstalking gets your self-esteem so low, I began interpreting every single time someone told me handsome, I began interpreting it as the total opposite, as an insult almost. So that's the thing, is that they successfully changed my perception. Even though I knew and I know that I'm not ugly, they managed to turn my perception of a compliment into the complete opposite. And they do this. I don't remember how they made it obvious. They're like, oh, you're super, very handsome. But they say it in a way that sounds fake. And yeah, so that is harassment. And the thing is that once that harassment stopped, my perception of any compliment was supposed to switch. And it stayed like there for a little bit. But I understood how the tricks work. I understand the change of perception. And if maybe maybe I just changed it by myself. Actually, no, never mind. I take it back. It was meant for me to perceive compliments in that manner. And yeah, so they little by little take off your self-confidence. But the most blatantly obvious about the taking of my confidence was Eric, He's the one that invited me in the first place to go fuck with him. And then I went to his place, and he was a fucking total disaster, let me tell you. And he told me that I was ugly, that my dick was small, and so at that time I remember at work I was learning how to type without looking at the computer. Like I know how to type without looking, but I was learning how to type using the keypad. And then he was mocking me by looking sideways and then just typing and going like, oh, like typing on his computer and literally just going, oh, mocking me. So I was being harassed by someone who invited me to his place in the first place to have sex with him. And it's like, dude, come on, don't be stupid. But gangstalkers are stupid. They're gonna try whatever tactic they think they can muster. But I didn't react because I was collecting information. I wanted them to be as vocal as possible, and it worked. That's why I'm able to give you all this data. The whole time, I was collecting information and experience. That's why I never said anything. because I knew I was going to do this in the end. So now I'm going to continue reading. Should one encounter any others through daily life, those he encounters may very well be gangstalker perps themselves, who are seeking to either gather information on the person or who are seeking to set him up somehow. Assassination via poisoning or other means. Rape, planting evidence on the person for a subsequent police investigation, or raid instigated by other perps, aka swatting. Calling the police with false accusations. This may be the case even after a friend may be simply playing the role to subject the TI to gaslighting and other forms of implicit abuse, to wear away their sense of self-worth, or to encourage them in vice, such as faggotry or other deviant sex practices or drugs. Anything that can be made to set the person up, sully their reputation, and escalate their demise in the most cruel and traumatic way. The purpose of the hidden hand. Whew. This struck a chord, didn't it? So this is true. That's true. So in my channel, I'm looking at everything with skepticism. And I'm only approving of things that I have experienced. And unless someone comes forward with details like I am detailing my experiences with gangstalking, it is the only way I'm going to believe someone else. So if you want to tell me your experience about someone trying to set you up or whatever, make a video of it in my channel. You can send it to me if you want. I'm gonna put my email on the thing. It's called on the description. My email is Anonymousmankindproject at outlook.com. I'm gonna put it in the description. Send me a video with your information. Send me your experience, because this channel is meant to be a collection of experiences where we take away what's false, we take away what's real, and we help each other by explaining our experiences, the tactics that they used, and how we can stop them from being effective. One thing that I know I'm absolutely right is indirect energy weapons. They don't exist. No. There's a really good chapter on all kinds of crazy theories about direct energy weapon use, but it's freaking insane. Again, it's your body that's producing them. It's your body that's producing them. It has nothing to do with gang stalking. They have no technology. Notice how I am agreeing with everything that can be done by manipulation, but nothing that has to do with a supernatural being or technology that is like a government agency or whatever. Now, let's go to the next one. Fabrication of false evidence that justifies crime prevention, fabrication of evidence of a falsified crime, and rumor spreading, discrediting of the target. In most cases, targeted individuals are accused of sex crimes with no chance to defend themselves. Sudden unemployment or redundancy, discrimination or hostility within workplaces. That's true. Loss of friends because of rumors or direct control. If you lose friends from gang stalking, most of them were not really your friends because they decided to believe a stranger rather than believing in you. So if 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 one of your friends turned against you, they already were envious of you in one way or another. So they took the rumor spreading of you as an opportunity for them to express their disdain against you. So they kind of did you a favor right there. Now, let's see. Loss of friends because of rumors or direct control. The perpetrators take over the friendship and social life of the TI. They are always rude and manipulative and are not real friends. First of all, do not believe that everyone is a gang stalker. Remember, they are pawn gang stalkers who are actually your friends, but are participating in gang stalking because everyone else is so. And your job as a friend who is under that circumstance, is to behave in such a manner that discredits all of the rumors. All right, so behave in a manner that discredits all the rumors. So, and make sure they know about them. Tell everyone. If so, like when I went through the time when I was being set up to be a pedophile, I was vocal about me having a reverence of children, and then I hate everyone who does any type of sexual act on a child, because I was a kid too, and I went through many experiences that I don't want to talk about right now, but that I should have not had. And I feel like I would like murder anyone who actively, acted upon my son if I had one, or a daughter. I would do whatever I can to make sure that person paid. Even if it was my friend's kid or whatever. Children are sacred. And I communicated this. And again, the person that I told this to acted surprised and shocked. I knew the rumor that was being spread about me, and me vocalizing it to a gang stalker or someone who I thought was against me made me realize that they don't know the whole story. They just know the rumors that gang stalkers are spreading. So I also vocalized the fact that I was taking every precaution in the book when I was being very sexually active, that I was going to the doctor every 3 months, and I was getting tested, and sometimes even more frequently, for any STI. And guess what? They were also surprised to hear that. My boss also repeated, every 3 months you go to the doctor to get checked. Like, she was surprised about that because they didn't know. When you feel that gang stalkers are against you, is because you have been smeared to such an extent only one side of the story that paints you in the most negative light. The malignant gang stalkers are the ones spreading those rumors. So you have to clear your name by being vocal about the things that you do that completely go against what they're trying to say about you. Be very vocal about your true nature. And you will notice that they will start behaving differently. They will start to see the real you, but you have to communicate it. Directly or indirectly. But make sure it's genuine, because people can smell a bullshitter. Make sure it's the truest form of you. And they will see who you really are, and you will start getting them on your side. But you have to make sure to clear your name by behaving in the way that puts you in the truest form of your character, the true nature of your character. You have to make sure it shines so bright that it fucking makes shadows of the smear campaign. And once you do that, you're gonna feel a heavy weight lifted off your shoulders because you are clearing up your name. That's why I'm unaffected by this, because I know who I am. And now everyone is starting to know that the gangstalkers, the millennial gangstalkers, were the ones who were painting me in that color. They were making me up to be the bad guy. And the thing is that people who are envious of you, they are willing to believe anything, especially if they had any type of envy towards you. I will later on show you pictures of how I looked. I've had everything. I had everything. I was on television. I was busy as hell when I was doing personal training. Other trainers were already jealous of how busy I was. My marketing is on point. I'm really good at what I do. I'm a hard worker. And when a coworker is suddenly being told by a complete stranger that I was addicted to crystal meth, you should have seen the face of my coworkers. They were so happy because they were so jealous of how busy I was. There were trainers too, but they weren't nearly as busy as I was. I was working 8 hours a day, sometimes more, as a personal trainer. I was making $5,000 a month, just personal training, working 30 hours a week. And I train doctors, I train athletes, lawyers. My personal training is top notch. And did you see that I went a little spicy? Well, anyways, yeah. So if people are already jealous of you, they're gonna use and that as an opportunity to act on their unexpressed envy and use it to express how they're jealous of you. They're gonna use that as somewhere to hold on, to really help, to get a sense of self-righteousness while destroying you. All right? That's all for this section of the book. Thank you.